We have learned so many fun facts about ancient Egypt this week, and now we are going to show off our knowledge by making an Egyptian papyrus picture. Papyrus was a weed that grew wildly along the banks of the Nile River. It grew about 10 feet high and was used to make everything. The ancient Egyptians used papyrus to make paper, baskets, sandals, mats, rope, blankets, tables, chairs, mattresses, medicine, perfume, food, and clothes. Truly, papyrus was an important gift of the Nile. We are going to use lines to make a texture that looks like papyrus paper, and then we are going to draw what we know about ancient Egypt. Some examples of what you can add to your picture include pyramids, the Nile River, ankhs, or the symbol for life, the scarab beetle, canopic jars, and ancient Egyptian traditional clothing. For this project, you will need white or tan paper, color pencils, markers, a regular drawing pencil, a traceable Egyptian figure, and your cartouche project from earlier this week.
The first step is to make our paper look like ancient Egyptian papyrus. To make papyrus, the Egyptians laid reeds in a crisscross pattern. So I'm going to use a light brown color pencil, and I'm just going to do some crisscross lines here and crisscross lines there until I have a big part of my page filled. So give me a minute to do that and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I filled in my whole page really lightly, keeping the lines really small and close together because we want it to look like texture and we don't want it to be something that people notice instead of noticing our beautiful Egyptian art. So the second step is that we are going to put a border around the edge that will look kind of like a frame on our paper. And just remember, the Egyptians used 6 colors. So you can use black, yellow, green, red, and blue. And the 6th color is white. So I'm only going to use these 5 markers and I'm going to create a border, just thinking about how a pattern repeats. So I might start with one type of line. Here's a blue dashed line. And then maybe I go back and in between I put a red circle. And then maybe I go back and I put some green lines around the red. It doesn't really matter so much what you do for your pattern as it does that you just make sure that you make a nice pattern, okay? So I'm going to do this all the way around all 4 sides and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I made my pattern go all the way around my paper. So now I have a border and I have a texture that shows papyrus. So next I am going to glue down my cartouche from the last project. And I'm going to glue it in the corner, kind of like a little name tag for my picture. I don't want it to be right in the middle because we're going to do some drawing. So glue your cartouche. And also you should have a traceable figure from your packet, or if you did not pick up your packet and you don't have this, you can go online and print out a picture of an Egyptian figure and cut it out and use it to trace, or you can just try to draw it on your own. But I'm going to trace my figure and I'm going to do that closer to the middle. So I'm going to glue this, trace this, and then I'll show you the next step. So I glued my cartouche and I traced really lightly here, my figure. Do it lightly so you can change things. And then you can go back and draw a little bit darker once you know where it is. But you're going to add some of the things that we've learned about Egypt around your person. And you can make your person include some of the things we've talked about too. So I'm going to start by behind the person here, I'm going to put a river, which would be my Nile River. And then back here, I'm going to put a horizon with some pyramids. And down here, as on my person, I can start to draw the Egyptian clothing that we've looked at. So you can make it have a short, kind of like a skirt if it's a boy, or a long skirt if it's a girl. I'm going to put some fancy jewelry that we've seen, and I'm going to put maybe one of the funny beards we noticed where it's just kind of like a long hot dog shape, and then it has kind of some X's on there. And then you could even give them a headdress. I'm going to make this one have kind of like a headdress with a snake on it, and then maybe an Egyptian wig. And remember, the Egyptians have a big eye because they decorated their eyes to make them look like they were outlined and kind of have a cat eye. And our face is facing the side, and our feet face the side, but our shoulders face the front, and that's called frontalism. And we see that in most Egyptian art. So as I start to finish the figure up, I'm going to add some sort of staff here. Maybe this is a pharaoh, or maybe it's a warrior. And then down here, I'm going to put an ankh, symbol for life. And up in the sky, maybe I'll put a sun with a scarab pushing the sun. So the scarab would have 1, 2, 3 lines, and then have 6 legs. We can make the legs connected to the sun like it's pushing the sun through the sky. So I'm going to continue to finish drawing and filling my space, and then I'm going to do some outlining. You don't have to color things, but use different colors as you work. So here's my finished drawing. You can see that I was really careful to cover up all of my pencil lines with a black marker line. So I outlined everything very carefully. I used my 6 colors only, except that I added a little bit of skin tone here, and I didn't have a marker that color, so I used a color pencil, and that's totally fine. I tried to think about ways to fill in the spaces on my page, and I didn't color everything. You don't have to color everything. Sometimes it's nice just to see the texture of the papyrus. So when you finish, please upload your work to Artsonia so that I can send you feedback, and I look forward to seeing what you create. Bye.